So the film I watched and analyzed was the film Real Bad Arabs: How Hollywood Vilifies the People. And the person being interviewed is Dr. Jack Shasheen. He's an American writer that focuses on racial and ethnic stereotypes, so he's credible when speaking on the topic. The movie begins with explaining that the same tactics used by Nazis to dehumanize Jewish people are used by Hollywood to dehumanize Arabs. And we got these stereotypes from European nations, from artists who dramatized Arab culture in paintings and painted them as wealthy, barbaric, but primitive, as if they weren't advanced as Western societies. They usually start these Hollywood films with a deadly desert scene and an oasis where a wealthy Arab man called a pasha is surrounded by a half naked woman dancing around him, just trying to please him. It relates to the system we live in now, on the patriarchy, where it's centered around pleasing men. The idea that the film begins to get across, that these Hollywood films begin to get across, is that Arab men and husbands are abusive to their wives and don't let them speak. They also make their wives subordinate to their husbands, and even from just a mumble from their husbands, their wives are quiet. In order to villainize the Arab men to Americans, they painted them as unsatisfied with Arab women and are keen on getting the white blonde woman. This kind of relates to how after slavery, white Americans didn't want black people to be ingrained or incorporated into society with them. So they painted black men as a threat and animalistic, just hungry for and thirsty for a white woman. In the beginning of these Hollywood films, Arabs were the butt of jokes. They were seen as dumb, rich, and they had too much money and didn't know what to spend it on. They took their animals everywhere. But as time progressed and certain events took place, like the Palestinian Israeli conflict, the Iranian Revolution, and Arab oil embargo, they started painting them as animalistic and the enemy. Um, they painted men as terrorists and violent, while women as submissive to men, but still violent. They painted the they changed the Arab women from being half dressed and dancing to them being in niqabs, which is the like a full body suit with just the eyes showing. And uh, in the early times of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, they associated Palestinians with Nazis because they were fighting against Jewish people. They made it seem that Palestinians would kill anyone and had a deep hatred for Americans. And something to keep in mind was stated in the film was that these films were that painted Palestinians like this was not random. A major part of it was two Israeli directors were the main reasons we can't sympathize with Palestinians and Arabs today. In a span of 20 years, they produced 30 films which vilified everything Arab, especially Palestinians. Um, in films like True Lies, which was incredibly racist, was shown multiple times a week to Americans to ingrain the idea and these stereotypes of Arabs into people's minds, as well as films like Rules of Engagement, which was partnered with the Department of U.S. Defense, in which it showed a group of innocent looking civilians being shot at by U.S. soldiers. It was seen as a horrific act, but as the movie progressed, it later showed that these innocent group of Arab civilians weren't so innocent, that even women and disabled children were the ones that shot at the U.S. soldiers first. These scenes helped paint a picture that no Arab is innocent, not even children, not even women. This helped justify actions taken against Arabs, such as in the Palestinian Israeli conflicts, displacing millions of Arabs into the Gaza Strip and depriving them of food, water, and resources, as well as never showing media on Palestinian refugees so they won't be sympathized with. Also, carrying out war on the Middle East and leaving many Arab nations without infrastructure due to the bombings that occurred there from the U.S. and other countries, because they were trying to take out terrorists. These films also affected American born Arabs because they painted them as being able to um, be terrorists as well, as they have an alliance to um, their nation of their parents' origin. And people today, they get racially profiled at airports and have to get constant random searches, and societies are uncomfortable around Muslim women with hijabs.